welcome to Mrs. Smith's Old School Classroom. Let's get started. Our overall goal is learning to read in the English language. Lesson number 1 will focus on the English alphabet and the sound of each letter. Each letter has two forms. The large form is called capital letter, and the small form is called small letter. Most letters have two sounds, long sound and short sound. So let's take a look at each letter, form, and sound. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A has the long sound of A and the short sound of A. B has the long sound of B and the short sound of B. C has the long sound of C and the short sound of K. D has the long sound of D and the short sound of D. E has the long sound of E and the short sound of E. F has the short sound of F. G has the long sound of G and the short sound of G. H has the short sound of H. I has the long sound of I and the short sound of I. J has the long sound of J and the short sound of J. K has the long sound of K and the short sound of K. L has the short sound of L. M has the short sound of M. N has the short sound of N. O has the long sound of O and the short sound of A. P has the long sound of P and the short sound of P. Q has the short sound of Q. R has the short sound of R. S has the short sound of S. T has the long sound of T and the short sound of T. U has the long sound of U and the short sound of V has the long sound of V and the short sound of V. W has the short sound of W. X has the short sound of S. Y has the short sound of Y. Z has the long sound of Z and the short sound of Z. Review this video of lesson number 1 as many times as needed to learn each letter and sound, which will prepare you for lesson number 2. I'll see you in our next class.